Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. And before I get started and introduce this new stuff that I installed, let me give shoutouts to subscribers. I'm doing 7 each episode. So shout out to John Wick, Jade_plays_XR, Country Guy 95, MUNEER OE, Josh T, YT, Tylerphieffer, and ValientArcher 4. Thank you all for subscribing. And I'm going to leave a list of who I give shoutouts to in the description each episode, as well as a lot of other great information in the description. Links to stuff that I'm featuring, playlist links, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check out the description. And you can see that I installed a Tahoe there, and that comes out of the ELS Sheriff Mini Pack by arrexx. And I want to say that's pronounced arrexx. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And it replaces this Tahoe replaces the Sheriff 2 in the game, and then there's a Charger that replaces the Sheriff in the game that we'll take a look at in a few minutes. We'll see it. We're getting ready to do a Homicide Callout, and it's going to be really fun. It should be pretty cool. It's called Country Murders by NightYield. So big shout out to NightYield. And it's interesting because we just gave a shout out to one of my subscribers, Country Guy 95. So maybe Country Guy 95 will like this Country Murders script that we're getting ready to do. Okay, so we're going to respond to this. There's a report of a dead body that's been located. Okay, so let's see what she says. Detective, the corpse is right behind me. Let me give you the details before you start the investigation. What's your name? She says, I'm Deputy Sheriff Jane Hall from the Sheriff's Department, and the guy who watches this. And the person who watches the suspect. The guy who is watching the suspects is Deputy Tim Ross. So what happened? She says, we got a 1054 via dispatch. When we arrived on scene, we found the dead body and the suspects. I secured the area around the dead body while Deputy Ross kept an eye on the suspects. Good work. She says we waited for a detective to arrive, that's me, to start the investigation. Alright, good job. The victim is Taylor James. He was a lawyer living in Vinewood Hills with no family. He must have died within the last 3 hours, based on the condition of the corpse. tell me about the suspects. First, there's Laura Thompson, also living in Vinewood Hills. She was the one who called us. Then there's Frank Ramirez. He is working here at the Polito Forest Sawmill. Our last suspect is Bill. He just seems to be one of the... It seems like they're describing him possibly as a homeless person from a nearby homeless camp. She says she suggests that I start investigating the crime scene and to let her know what I find. Shoe prints. This is where the victim stood with someone, and it suggests that they might have known each other. He died from the wound on the back of his head. Blood. That's where it looked like he hit his head and maybe he was pushed. Just some sawdust. I don't think this is helpful. See if you can find anything else around. Deputy Hall, I'm done with investigating the area. Understood. I suggest you start interrogating the suspects. Let me know if you need any help, she says. Before I do that, Deputy Hall, I've got a question for you. Did you notice the footprints? She said you found footprints near the corpse. Do you think they have that? She thinks that it suggests that they might have known each other. Maybe they may have known each other and had a conversation. Is what she thinks that it suggests. Maybe. I have one more question for you. Is there any security cameras here? She says yes, there are security cameras, but none of them captured what happened. So none of them captured the murder take place. She said that she saw Frank working, and that's on camera, and so it shows that kind of corroborates his story. Okay, so what's your name? She says, I'm Laura Thompson, 35, single, and she's surprised that I never heard of her. She says, well, not everyone. She's an artist by profession. Okay, so what happened? She says that the city's stressful. She came here to relax and get some inspiration for her next artwork. She was jogging through the forest and noticed the victim lying on the ground. She tried to help him, but there was nothing she could do, so she called 911 and waited. Did you know James Taylor? Oh, it's James Taylor? Didn't notice that, but at least the expensive suit makes sense now. He once sued me for one of my installations, she says. Sometimes karma seems to strike late. He was an ass, but that was years ago. Maybe dying is a little too harsh. What's your name? It says his name is Bill. Okay. So what happened? He says he was hungry, hunting rabbits. He heard a scream, came to see what happened. He saw somebody hurt, but looked like they were already dead. Did you know Mr. James Taylor? He says no. What's your name? He says, name is Frank Ramirez. He lives in Toledo Bay and works here at the sawmill as a foreman in charge. Okay. Do you know what happened? He said he was working as usual when he heard a woman screaming. He came here and saw that the woman tried to help the victim, but it was already too late. Okay. Did you know Mr. James Taylor? He says yes, that the guy was a lawyer, often sneaking around, trying to take pictures. He was trying to find something to use against them. One of his clients wanted this sawmill to be shut down. They told him to stay away, but he wouldn't listen. His client wanted the location, so, the sawmill to be shut down so he could build something else on the location. Okay. Is there anything else? He says, yes, he was on security camera working, and that is proof of his innocence. Okay. And Deputy Hall asks if I finished my interrogations. Yes. And I think it was Laura Thompson, the jogger. Frank was on camera working, so he doesn't have the opportunity. And he's got the alibi of the being on camera working, so she followed him out of town to get revenge for an old lawsuit. What a crazy woman. Arrest her immediately. So, oh yeah, she's over here.
Let me see those hands!
Alright, Laura, I'm gonna have to ask you to put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. And so I'm just going to call for a transport for her.
We've got an officer requiring prisoner transport assistance in not Chiliad. Units respond code 2.
And she says, thank you, Detective. I'm glad that this case is solved. Hopefully, one day we can work together again. I agree. It was great working with you. Deputy Hall. She says, you should drive back to the main road. We'll clean up the scene. Goodbye. Alright, goodbye. This is her transport, I think. He's gonna have to walk all the way up there. But that is, another livery for that Charger. And it comes white, it says Sheriff. So I'm gonna head back to the station. Is that truck still there? Cool. That Tahoe? It's still sitting there. Nice. A day after the investigation, we all heard about the murder at the Paleto Bay sawmill. A detective solved the case and saved the day. Today we got the decision of the court after a quick and fast process. It seems like the detective did a great job. The judge sentenced the murderer to a lifetime behind bars. Okay, call out complete. My conclusions were correct. Nice, nice. That's cool. And once again, before I wrap it up, I'm gonna give shoutouts to my subscribers, 7 of them each episode. John Wick, Jade_plays XR, Country Guy 95, MUNEER OE, Josh T, YT, Tylerphieffer, that's YouTube Tylerphieffer, and ValientArcher 4. Thank you all for subscribing. And again, we saw a sheriff in a Tahoe from the ELS Sheriff Mini Pack by arrexx, and we did a Homicide Callout from Country Murders by NightYield. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.